And I'm like, wait, what is you doing? That stuff, that's me and Jay-Z stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with it.
50 Cent is dropping some serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce that the world just isn't ready for. Recently, he revealed their secret link to Diddy, and what he had to say will shock you. If you can count on 50 Cent to do one thing, it's to bring some drama. And the interesting thing is that he's usually telling the truth, or is at least very close to it. Now, 50 Cent isn't the only one coming after Jay-Z and Beyonce either. Earlier in October 2024, Jaguar Wright went on the Piers Morgan show, Uncensored, and dropped some drama bombs that Piers certainly wasn't ready for. Jaguar said on the show that she had been talking about what was going on with Diddy for 4 years, but he wasn't the only one who needed to be held accountable. She also argued that Jay-Z was right there with Diddy and also a monster. She had been trying to tell everyone for years that Jay-Z was just as bad as, if not worse than, Diddy. Jaguar said that Jay-Z and Beyonce had thousands of victims. They held people against their will, put people on planes while they were asleep, and essentially were responsible for some of the major passings in the entertainment industry. Now, these were some pretty wild claims, but do they hold up? Well, there are a ton of conspiracy theories involving Jay-Z and Beyonce, so we'll need to do some digging. First, however, one interesting thing that came out of Jaguar's interview with Piers is that he actually had to apologize for what Jaguar said. Now, this is Piers Morgan, who tends to say a lot of questionable things and not apologize for them. He even had to start his own show, Uncensored, so that he could get away with some of the stuff he says. This isn't a man who's afraid of ruffling feathers, basically. Yet, after Jaguar's interview aired, he released a video apologizing to Jay-Z and Beyonce. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Piers' company received a call from Jay-Z and Beyonce's lawyers, basically telling him that all the allegations made by Jaguar were false. They wanted his production company to remove her interview and apologize to them for the false allegations made about them. Surprisingly, Piers complied. He said that Jaguar unexpectedly made some serious allegations about the couple, and Jay-Z and Beyonce weren't there to defend themselves. He explained that their lawyers later contacted them and put in a legal request to cut the part where Jaguar talks about them out of the show. Piers admitted that choosing to edit interviews isn't something that he likes to do on his show, since Uncensored is all about raw interviews, but even they had to obey legal limits. Then he formally apologized to Jay-Z and Beyonce. The crazy thing about this is that it shows just how much power and reach the couple has. They were able to make someone like Piers Morgan apologize to them publicly, and this is a man who hardly ever apologizes for the things he says. That's some crazy power. Now, why do some people think that Beyonce and Jay-Z are tied up in Diddy's business? Well, their names were always at the top of the list for Diddy's parties. As most know by this point, Diddy's parties are under the scrutiny of the FBI. Diddy is said to have held 2 different parties at the same time. There was the typical Hollywood party outside in the yard where a lot of celebrities and models were invited. They were able to use the pool, drink, use substances, and perhaps get a little frisky with each other. Then there was the troubling party inside Diddy's home. These parties were called freak-offs. The problem with these freak-offs is that they allegedly had minors present for them. There are also allegations that Diddy trafficked the women in these parties. For years, there have been people making jokes and warnings about Diddy's parties. Cat Williams has been one of the most vocal, saying that if you go to a Diddy party, you're basically selling your soul. He's also said a few other disturbing things too, like that Diddy will want to be intimate with you, or his crew will want to be intimate with you. Even Denzel Washington warned people about going to Diddy's parties, saying that you should always leave a half an hour before the devil shows up, suggesting that you should basically leave the party early. There have also been women coming forward and talking about their alleged experiences as one of the women used in these parties. Some didn't even realize they were being trafficked at the time. Now, the big red flag here is that if Jay-Z and Beyonce were such good friends with Diddy and were always being invited to his parties, then how much did they know? They've been going to his parties for years, so how is it that they allegedly didn't know what was going on at these freak-offs? An even scarier question is whether they participated in these events themselves. If so, then they could find themselves in legal trouble, just like Diddy. There are also some other worrying allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce too. Supposedly, Beyonce was present when Diddy physically attacked Cassie, his girlfriend at the time. It's worth recalling that Cassie put in a lawsuit against Diddy, alleging physical harm while they'd been dating. Some of the stories shared in her lawsuit were absolutely chilling. Then there was a video release that showed Diddy chasing Cassie through the hall of a hotel, throwing her down onto the ground and kicking her. So clearly, Diddy showed some pretty intense violence toward her. Now, at one particular party, the story goes that Beyonce was actually present when Diddy started hurting Cassie. He did it right in front of her. Cassie later went to her room to clean herself up. Beyonce and Jessica Alba were waiting for her, and then, when Jay-Z came by with Diddy, Beyonce allegedly started yelling at Diddy for treating Cassie like that. Diddy then fell on his knees and apologized to both Cassie and Beyonce. A lot of people left the party after this happened, including Beyonce and Jay-Z. Cassie also left with Jessica. Beyonce also allegedly wasn't happy with Jay-Z because he didn't do much to reprimand Diddy. He just sort of let it all happen. So she lost some respect for him too. If this is true, then it might indicate that Beyonce hasn't always been on Diddy's side. However, it doesn't paint Jay-Z in a good light. He had no problem standing aside while Diddy beat up a woman, let alone his girlfriend. It's made some people wonder if it's Jay-Z who is really good friends with Diddy and Beyonce is just involved because she's married to him. Others aren't so sure, however. In fact, there's a huge conspiracy theory surrounding Beyonce and her involvement with some celebrity passings. For example, some fans have found it interesting that there are certain celebrity passings that have all occurred on the same day of the month. This conspiracy theory started after J. Cole released a song called She Knows. From the start, people believed that it was about Jay-Z and Beyonce because She Knows sounds a lot like Sean and Knowles. It gets even more interesting from there. Then there's a section of lyrics that caused some people to question the couple even more. The lyrics go, "Rest in peace to Aaliyah, rest in peace to Left Eye, Michael Jackson, I'll see ya." What's interesting about these three particular passings is that they all passed away on the 25th of certain months. Aaliyah passed away on August 25th, 2001 in a plane crash. Left Eye passed away on April 25th, 2002 in a car accident. And Michael Jackson passed away on June 25th, 2009 from a heart attack. That's quite a coincidence. Then it gets weirder when you look at the birthdays of Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Diddy. They're all born on the 4th of different months. Diddy was born on November 4th, Beyonce was born on September 4th, and Jay-Z was born on December 4th. Did the trio find a connection through their shared birth number and then carry on some crazy scheme using the same number each month as their calling card? It may be a little far-fetched, but it's still an interesting theory, as is the theory that Beyonce and Jay-Z may be getting a divorce. Jay-Z has been lying low ever since Diddy got arrested, which 50 Cent was quick to point out. 50 Cent seems to think that it's because he knows that the feds are going to start looking at him too. Beyonce may be looking at divorcing him or vice versa in order to save themselves from the fallout of Diddy's legal mess. 50 Cent, however, seems to think that Beyonce is just as guilty as Jay-Z when it comes to Diddy. He believes that Beyonce sees herself as a sister to Diddy and that she was the one really getting involved in his parties. But what do you guys think? Are Beyonce and Jay-Z part of some big cult-like organization involved with taking people's lives? Are they headed for divorce? Will they be next to fall once Diddy starts dropping some names? Let me know in the comments below.